Hello YouTube, my name is Breyanna and today's video is going to be my Kenya experience video. I know I didn't get many responses back from other videos saying if you wanted one, but I really wanted to do one because I wanted to go more in depth about the trip so that if you wanted to go on a me-to-be trip that I could give you as much information about them as you can possible so you can decide if you want to go or not. And I recommend that you go because it's a great experience. Now, I do not want to make this intro very long because I know this video is going to be very long. For a disclaimer, I'm not trying to brag about my trip whatsoever. That is the last thing I want to do. If anything, I want to try to get you guys to go because it's an amazing experience. Everybody should be able to do this. Let me start with how this trip kind of came along. So back in grade 8, I had a me-to-we group at school. And we wanted to do something that was really big, and we wanted to do something that would change our lives and also change others' lives. The person who runs the me-to-we at our school, or who used to, her name was C, and she organized a group, and we wanted to do it with EF Tours, and which also EF Tours works closely with me-to-we. We got together with the me-to-we group and the grade 7 me-to-we group, which is our elementary school. Because I'm in the high school and there's elementary school that goes with my high school. And so we got those grade 7s and we got us as grade 8s into a room and we discussed where we wanted to go. So we had choices between India, Kenya, Ecuador, and the Amazon, I believe. And out of all those, we chose Kenya. This trip was pretty expensive. It was $5,000. About $5,000, but that includes your food, your transportation, like plane tickets and stuff, utilities, everything like that. And also some of the money would go towards some of the materials we'll need to build what we were going to build. And so we decided to wait 2 years so that we can fundraise and raise enough money to go on this trip because we thought the more time we could have to fundraise, the better. And so now it's grade 10 year for me, and then it's grade 9 year for the grade 7s, and we finally get to go on this trip. So we left on March 19th, up at 3:30 because our flight was at 6, and we drove to the airport, and our flight left at 6, and so we left. It was a very small plane, it was fine. It's literally just I don't know how, it's maybe an hour or and a half or something to get to Calgary. And so we got to Calgary and we had a 7-hour layover, which was the death of me. It was so incredibly long. Oh my gosh. Basically what we did was we just played games. We played this game called Pigs. Pretty great. If you have not played it, please go play it. It's pretty awesome. I'll also insert photos throughout this vlog too. I got on the plane to Amsterdam, and that flight was about 8 hours. We got to Amsterdam and we only had a 2-hour layover. And so we just chilled or whatever. And then we went on the plane to Nairobi, and that one was 7 hours, 7.5 hours, about around that time. And so we got to Nairobi, and it was 9 o'clock at night, I think, there. And so we got there, we got off the plane. It was very hot, super, super, super hot. The humidity was terrible. And we got on, because our plane landed outside, so we have to walk down the stairs, and we got onto a bus to the main entrance of the airport where you have to go through customs and all that stuff. And so we got there and we went through customs, and in the customs area, it was so hot. Once you actually went through customs, it wasn't that bad at all. Luggage, and then we went to go meet our facilitators, Dean and Phoebe. They introduced themselves, and then we introduced us. And so we met them, and then we got on a safari truck and we drove to the Rossland house that we were staying at. And along the ride, it was a 2-hour ride to the Rossland house, an hour or 2 hours, I don't remember. Got to the Rossland house, and the house was really nice. So what the Rossland house is basically is with me-to-we. So me-to-we basically kind of bought the house for people like us to stay in when we're here, and beside it is where the people who work in Kenya from me-to-we stay, and then we also have there's a me-to-we store also that's in that area, and it's very secured and stuff. There's always security guards, and it's very safe in the area. So we got the Rossland house. It's so beautiful in there, so beautiful. Lots of bugs and everything. The outside and the front yard and the backyard are beautiful. inside you walk in and then you go to the left and there's a dining table, then there's the kitchen, and then there's 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. In the 3 bedrooms there's a bunch, like 12 bunk beds maybe, because a lot of groups stay here. And you go upstairs into a spiral staircase, and then on the left hand side there is a bedroom which has like so many bunk beds. I don't know how many bunk beds, but there's like 12 maybe, and then there's single beds, and then there's the bathroom with 3 showers, and then 2 showers and 3 toilets, then 3 sinks, and you can't drink the tap water, so you have to get like filtered when you have to brush your teeth and stuff. And then you also, there's an upstairs where the boys stayed, and yeah, it was a really nice bedroom. But like the thing is that it's very easy to hear, because like when the girls, we were talking downstairs, we were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're in Kenya. And then the boys are upstairs, were like, yeah, we know, we're in Kenya. So like you could easily hear people, and like in the morning when they were awake, you could hear them stepping and coins dropping and everybody walking. So it was very noisy. So the next day we wake up and we have breakfast, and then we drive to Masai Mara, which is where we were staying. So the drive to Masai Mara is about 7 hours. I know, pretty long. 7 hours, and we drove in the truck again, the safari truck. And along the way we stopped at Rift Valley. Rift Valley, it's a very big tourist attraction. It's where you could see it's like the big park reserve you could see. So you could see animals, a bunch of vegetation and all that stuff. And there's also a bunch of where you can get souvenirs. There's little shops and stuff, but we weren't allowed to buy anything until we were coming back to Nairobi. And so we just stopped there to look at the view, and it was very, very beautiful. I loved it, so pretty. So then we continued on, and we also stopped to have a picnic at this another like souvenir place. So we had a picnic and we had lunch there. After the picnic we drove a couple more hours to Masai Mara. And where we stayed was the Kisaruni Technical something college, and it's the campsite that was connected to Kisaruni all-girls high school. We got to the campsite and we were greeted by the wonderful staff. That's truly amazing. We were greeted by the chef, and they sang the song Jambo, Jambo Wana, Abadi Gani, Masuri Sana. They sang that song, which is a welcome song, and they also sang another one. It's like, everybody smiling, Akuna Matata. Yeah, they sang that kind of song, and it was so cute, and we felt so welcome. And so we met the chef, and we also met Majimoto. Majimoto is the person who boils our water for us for the shower, and Majimoto means hot water. We don't actually know his real name, we just know him as Majimoto. And so we met all of them, and then we met our first facilitator that's from Kenya. Her name is Miriam, and she is from Kisaruni. She graduated 2 years ago, and we got assigned to our rooms. My room, I stayed with Paige and Andrina, and inside the rooms there was, I'll insert pictures, there was a dresser, your bed, and then you had a mosquito net. And so we got to settle into our rooms and like check everything out. And so after we settled into our rooms, me and Paige, we walked around, we met up with Emily, we walked around the camp, and we saw where the showers were. And I'll insert pictures, of course, but there was a bucket hanging on top, and that's where the water would come out because there's a little nozzle. And of course we had to take staggered showers. Then we saw where the toilets were, which is like in a little outhouse, and it was very clean all the time, which is good, very great. Where the mess hall was, where we'll be eating food, and we saw where the kitchen was. So after that, I think we had about a little downtime, and then after we had dinner, which was good, and then after dinner we always have these discussions or activities, and we just have an evening discussion and reflecting on the day and how overwhelming it is and stuff like that, and how the rest of the week's gonna go. I think this was also the day where we got into leadership groups. We got into our leadership groups, and the leadership group was in charge of like the build site equipment and like waking everybody up and water and stuff like that. Next morning we woke up, we had breakfast, a leadership group woke us up, and then we had Swahili lessons. And there we learned sawa sawa, we learned asante sana, which is thank you. We learned karibu, which is you're welcome. We learned a whole bunch of words in Jumbo, stuff like that, which is hi, which was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And those were taught by Robert and Izzy, who are our other facilitators, and they're Maasai warriors. So that was cool. So after the Swahili lessons, it was the first day of the work site, the Building 101. It wasn't very far from where we were staying, so we just walked down, because then you have our campsite, the Kitsuruni School, and then you have the Breyanna Health Center. And what we were doing is we were helping build a morgue. We were also helping build a kitchen. And so we learned all of the safety hazards and everything. They had to wear a helmet, goggles, and gloves the whole time. And so the first day, we were helping building the morgue, and we were building the foundation for it. So we had to pickaxe all the rocks and throw them into the center, and we had to shovel the rocks too. And that was so hard because it was super, super hot that day, and it was extremely difficult. Like, I felt bad because I felt like I couldn't do as much because I felt weak and stuff. It was like extremely hard to do that, and I had to take like a lot of breaks, and I just felt useless. But we did that. But after we were walking back, I felt so sick, and like my stomach hurt so bad. But when we got back, we had downtime, and I kind of like tried to rest, and then we had lunch, and then I don't know, I just felt so gross. I didn't feel good at all. It was really difficult because I was like crying and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to feel sick, I just got here. But yeah, so we did that. And then after lunch, we went to the NLRI primary school, which is, we visited the kids. And on the new school site, they have the old school, which is where they used to like have classes, which is where they like used to do their school and stuff. And it was really sad to see because it was like not sheltered, like it was built with sticks and mud, and it was really sad to see. But since Free the Children came, they built a new school for them. They have great education now, and it's amazing to see. So we got to see the new school, which is on site with the old school, and we got to see one of the classroom, which is where they're learning, and they were learning math, socials, and math, English, and science, I think, all at the same time. And so we got to like say hi and like, what's your name, how are you, that kind of thing. Got to interact with them. And then afterwards, the kids were all playing outside, so me and Paige, we ran off and we went to go play with a group of girls that were playing. And they were playing this game, and they have these like plastic balls that they play with, made out of like plastic bags or whatever. And so they played with that. And then we talked to them, we sang with them, we taught them how to whip and dab and drop. I know. It was really cute though. They were so good. It was really fun. It was really eye-opening. They were all so sweet. They were so interested in us. They always wanted to like hang out, and when we had to leave, they were really sad. They wanted us to stay, and I wanted to stay too because it was an amazing experience, and I love kids so much, and it was extremely fun, and I would love to do it again. After that, we went back to the camp. We had downtime, we had dinner, and then we talked about like leadership and stuff like that, and what we want to do at our time while we're here, and all that kind of thing, reflecting on the day, that sort of thing. And then we went to bed, and I think that day was like really rainy. I feel like it was really rainy that day. On to the next day, which is day 3. We woke up, had breakfast, then we went to the Malot market, I think it's called, which is Kenya's local market where everybody buys their groceries, stuff like that. And so before we went, we got into our leadership groups, and we were all given a family situation. Now in this family situation, it either had stuff that you had to like buy, which in ours we had to buy rope for our piki because our father transported items to different locations, so we need to buy rope for that. We were also saving money for our child's education, but since our crops failed because of a huge drought, I believe, we had to use our child's education money to get new crops and groceries, and therefore we don't have a lot. And so every family was given 500 shillings, which equals to $5 here. We were given 500 shillings, and we could only spend 500 shillings and buy the stuff that we need for food. So we got there. Big crowds make me feel very claustrophobic, and so I was in a very big panic zone because I'm not a big fan of that, and it just gets really overwhelming for me. But I did it, and I conquered my fear. And so we got there, and we were buying food, and we also had like a translator with us, and we had Winnie with us, who Winnie may need this bracelet. Really helpful. Thank goodness for her, because if we didn't have her, I don't know what we would do without her, because we, I don't know, English with them, not very good. So she translated a lot of the stuff for us, which was really helpful. And with 500 shillings, we got so much. Like, it's incredible how $5 to us, we could buy like a candy bar, one candy bar. With 500 shillings, $5 there, we could buy corn, we could buy carrots, potatoes, broccoli, rice, milk, everything you need, basically. And it was just incredible to see how little they have, and they can make so much out of that. So after we got that, we went back to the camp, and we like counted and stuff how much money we had left over, and what did we buy and stuff like that. And so after that, we bought the food, and then we put it in a basket to give to the kitchen so they can use it for their use. So that mostly took up a big chunk of our day. After that, we did our volunteer project, which was the healthcare center. And so we worked on more of that, but this time we just had to like bring rocks from a pile and bring it down into where the kitchen's going to be. So we just like a train passing the rocks down, and we did that for a couple of hours. It was really fun because it was pretty easy, except for when you had to pick up the rocks, it hurt your back a lot. But yeah, that one was really good, and we did the passing rocks for the rest of the trip. That's the stuff that we did. After that, we went back home and we had lunch, and then, no, we had dinner. After that dinner, we had another activity we did, a social issue discussion on issues that are happening in our home, issues that we saw in Kenya, what needed to be changed, how we could change them. So we had the discussion, and then after that we went to bed. Next day, 24th, we woke up, breakfast of course, and then today was the water walk. So we took the bus to where we had to meet the mamas, and we met the mamas at one of the water wells. There we walked to their house, which was 20 minutes away. They showed us around the house that they had before Free the Children came, and then after Free the Children came. And so they showed us the chicken coop, where they had to go to the bathroom, where they had to shower, where they hung their clothes, the hut they used to live in. And the hut that they used to live in was a mud hut, and they had like straw house, and it was super tiny. Maybe, I feel like it's even smaller than my bedroom now. And it was just a round hut, and everybody used to sleep in there. Now that little hut is used for the kids to sleep, so the kids sleep in that hut, and then the parent and the mom and the father sleep in the bigger house. After we toured around the mama's house, we grabbed the water and we walked down to where the lake was, lake pond thing. And so the mamas grabbed us water because we can't go in there because it's dirty. I'm used to that, so we weren't allowed in there. And it was like amazing to see because the water is super, super dirty. After that, everybody took turns carrying water. How we would carry water is we put rope around our forehead, carry it like this, and the water's on our back. This was the most challenging, most physical thing I've ever done. This was so difficult, and these mamas have to do this 5 times a day. They used to have to do this 5 times a day and walk 20 minutes to get water, and it's just incredible. So we walked back, and it was so difficult, but it was a really good experience because now you could see what the mamas used to do. But now, since Free the Children came and built a well across from where they lived, it's very more convenient. Plus they have fresh water now. They don't have dirty water. And it's just amazing to see how these mamas are incredibly strong. And they will do anything for their kids and for their family. Like, they would walk 20 minutes just to get dirty water. And it just makes you realize how much water we waste too. And how privileged we are to have clean water. And it's just important to enforce that some people out there are unlucky to have that. But luckily that Kenya now has Free the Children wells. They're lucky enough to have that. Next we went back to camp and we had lunch. Then after that we went to the Kitsruni All-Girls High School, and we had a tour of the Breyanna Center. First we went to the Kitsruni Girls School, I believe, and we met 4 girls. One was in grade 10 and the rest were in grade 11. And they gave us a tour around their school, and their school is beautiful. So, so beautiful. Letting you know that these girls stay at this school, so it's like a dorm room kind of thing. They stay in this school for 3 months and then go home for a month. And these girls wake up at 5 or 4 in the morning because they have to maintain the school, cut the grass, make dinner, that kind of thing, make breakfast, I mean, and they have to maintain the school and clean the room and stuff like that. And then they start school, and they don't end school till like 4 in the afternoon, I believe. And they study. They study so hard. Like, school is so important to them. And if you ask every girl at that school, they will know what they want to do with their lives. They will know exactly where they want to go after they finish high school. They will know their goals, their achievements, everything. And you look here, me, for example, I don't know anything. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know. These girls know exactly what they want. And because they know exactly what they want, they take education very seriously because they need it to succeed in life. Because it's so important that they need to go get a nice job and go to university so they have a life after their school. And most people in Canada and anywhere else go to school because they have to go, and because people don't care about school here. No one, people don't care. They don't see how important it is to have an education. But these girls see how it is so important for education. And they strongly, strongly believe in it. And I strongly believe in them that they can do it and that they will succeed in life because they are focused and determined to have a better life than they have now. We toured around their school. We saw their counselor's office. We saw where they eat lunch every day, dinner, breakfast. It was beautiful. And we also sang a song for them, which you saw in my vlog if you watched it. And they also showed us a science experiment they did, which is crazy because they didn't have any gloves, aprons, goggles, anything. They were working with open chemicals with their bare hands. That was crazy. After we visited the Keats-Rooney School, we said goodbye and we went to the Breyanna Health Center. Now, the Breyanna Health Center was beautiful. It was amazing. Ever since, they were saying, ever since they built that, when they had moms come in to give birth to the baby, they never lost a mom or they never lost a baby. And it's incredible to see how much Free the Children has done for this. This healthcare center is truly phenomenal, and the people who work there are truly incredible. It's just amazing to see, and I feel so inspired by them. It's amazing to see. Free the Children is truly incredible, and Free the Children changes so many lives. I cannot stress enough how important it is to support these kind of things, because people out in Kenya don't have as much stuff as we do, and to see how much they have now and how happy these people are, even with nothing, not as much as we do, is incredible to see, and it's just amazing. So after we visited the Breyanna Center, we went back home and we had dinner and we discussed what we saw today and everything like that, and then we went to bed. Next day, went and woke up, we had breakfast, and then we went to Breyanna Center, which is the Women's Empowerment Center basically, and it's where all the mamas make the rafikis and birth Julie everything. And so we got there and the mamas weren't ready for us yet, and so we toured around the Breyanna Center, and the Breyanna Center is where people stay if they would like to. So there's a bunch of tents there, there's also cabins, stuff like that, and it's beautiful. And you saw a bunch of restaurants there, outdoor restaurants, and it was so incredibly nice, really incredible, and it was so beautiful. And so after we walked around the Breyanna Center, we went to be with the mamas. And so we beat with the mamas and we made rafikis. Now Winnie made me this one, and I also made one with a pattern, but I gave it to my friend Izzo, and so she has that. And it was so much fun. And after we were beating with them, we went to the Midui Duka, which is the Midui store, where they sell water bottles, clothes, where I have pants that I bought from there, a bunch of rafikis, shirts, everything like that, and it was so nice. I bought a couple of things. I mainly bought the pants and Rafiki's, but it was so nice and I loved it. After that we hung around and we talked to the mamas for a bit, asked her questions, and shopped a little bit, and it was really fun and I enjoyed a lot of it. We went back to our camp and we did more build site work, the rock stuff we built with the kitchen. We went back, then after that we went back and we had dinner, and then we had a discussion. We had a discussion on action planning and what ourselves were passionate about at home. So I was passionate about food waste, and so we did action planning around that, and some people did action planning around the homeless population in our city. And it was a good activity and it was really fun. On March 26th was the safari day, and the safari was absolutely incredible. Woke up at 5 in the morning to go travel to the park, and it was super cold in the morning, super cold, but it was really fun. We saw a bunch of giraffes, a bunch of zebras, gazelles, and there was also things called dig-digs, and they were like kind of in the gazelle family. And dig-digs, interesting fact, when their loved one passes away, they tried to commit suicide. So like they jump off a cliff and stuff like that, and it's like, why? I mean, I know you love them, but like, it's so sad. And so we saw that. We saw hippos, we saw warthogs, we saw buffaloes. Yeah, I think we saw more, but I can't think of any right now. Yeah. Oh, we saw an ostrich too. There were so many zebras, like so many zebras. We had lunch with them, and that was really fun. So we had lunch there because the safari took the whole day, but it was extremely hot later on, and like Andrina got really sick and I felt bad because she was like throwing up and stuff, and I felt super bad for her, but it was super fun and I loved every minute of it. When we got back to the camp, we had dinner and we had an evening campfire, and we sat around the campfire with the Maasai warriors and Miriam and Winnie and Dean and everybody, and we told stories, and the Maasai Mara warriors told their stories about how they became Maasai warriors and the history between Maasai warriors. It was incredible to see. And also, that night, Dean and Phoebe never do this activity with like a lot of groups. They don't do this activity with many groups, but the activity was, it was called Keep the Fire Alive. And so we were split into our leadership groups, and we were giving time slots. And every group had to choose a time slot, including the adults, and that was when we were going to keep the fire alive. So my group had the 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., which was great because we were the last group to keep the fire alive. And so we did that, and we kept the fire alive, and we did it, and we accomplished it, and it was really fun. It was more of like a bonding kind of experience because we were just one-on-one with our teams and stuff like that. So it was very fun to do, and I enjoyed myself a lot. Next was one of our second to last days, one of my like favorite days. So I think this was the morning, or it was 2 mornings ago, but I don't remember, but it was like Easter Sunday. And so we woke up, and on the floor of our like tent there was Easter eggs, and it was really fun because I never missed like an Easter with my family, and so we had Easter there, and it was so much fun. Like it was great. And since there's some people in our group that are religious, there was a choice between going to church with the Kitsuri girls or working the build site. I am religious, but I felt as though it was best for me to go do the work site because I knew my priorities and I came to help a community. And I know I'm not dissing religion at all, please don't get me wrong. I think it's very important to go to church and stuff like that. But I also get why people went, and I fully support the people who went, but I personally just believe that I should have gone to the work site, and so I did. We just passed rocks and everything like that, and it was just a fun time. After that, we went back and we had lunch, I believe, and then we drove to this little area where we were going to have Maasai warrior training and the medicine walk. And so we had the Maasai Mara warrior training, which was so much fun. I loved it. And we threw these things called congas. Now, I'll see if I have a video or something like that. I think you saw it in my vlog, but we threw these things called congas. And we threw them, and it was super fun. And we also shot bow and arrows, which was extremely fun as well. And I loved it because it was so cool and I've never done that before. On the medicine walk, it started to pour rain, by the way, like it was pouring rain outside. We went on the medicine walk and Robert showed us all the different like trees and stuff like that that used back when people like were out in the wilderness. So like ones to use for deodorant, one to brush your teeth, like stuff like that, and one to make you feel better, and also plants you should not like you shouldn't be near. We went back and this was also our final celebration dinner, which was so incredible. Everybody, like this whole staff came and we ate dinner with them. We had goat for the first time, and then we also had pop, which was what we really wanted because we hadn't pop in such a long time. And the staff all sang us a song, and we had cake which tasted like ketchup, and we had a good meal, and we all sat around and we ate with the staff, and it was a really fun time. Now, there's a few things I want to tell, but I forget what nights we did them. There was a night where it was after dinner. I forget what night it was, but oh, it was after the campfire night. So, after the final celebration dinner. Okay. After that, we played these two activities. And we did this one activity where we did straight eye contact with someone. So first off, we like went around, we walked around, and then we'd stop, and then we'd look up and see who it was, and we'd stare at their eyes for a good like 2 minutes probably, just stare in their eyes and stuff like that. And then after we got into 2 circles, and we like shifted around and stuff to every person, and we did straight eye contact with them for like a minute or 2 minutes, and I did it with Miriam, and Miriam started crying because we like were like, oh no, we're gonna leave each other soon, and so we started like crying with each other. And it was a little odd at first because I was like, oh geez, I'm staring into someone's soul. This is so weird. Never gone so close with someone so much before. We played the eye contact game, which is not really a game, but we did it anyways. We played this game, which is also a thing that Phoebe and Dean don't normally play with these kind of people, with groups before. And it's called the Tunnel of Love. And I know it sounds really, it's not. Trust me. So we got lined up into 2 lines like this, and it doesn't matter who it is, we're just across from each other, and Dean's standing on one end, Phoebe's standing on the other end. And so Dean's at the front of the line, and the first people that are here, like are close to Dean, the first person goes over there, and Dean will blindfold them. And what he's going to do is he's going to give that person compliments. Give them the things that he admires about that person, about anything that he likes about them, what a great leader they are. And as that person goes down the line blindfolded, anybody who wants to say something about that person will go ahead and you can do it. So if you're just walking down the line, if you're walking down the line like this, someone over here could grab the hand and whisper in your ear things they like about you, how great a person you are, things like that. And because you're blindfolded, you won't exactly know who that person is unless you know their voice very well. So you can give them compliments as much as you want, it doesn't matter, and then you guide them along until the next person takes them. Personally, was one of the best nights I've ever had in my entire life. I love giving out compliments to people. I think it's so important for people to know how special they are and how amazing and talented and just great they are. And like, I've never received so many great compliments before in my life, and I felt so welcome and felt so loved. And it's good that everybody has these kind of things, but it's out of a lot of people's comfort zones to compliment people and to go down the line and get compliments from people, because I'm not a very affectionate person, and so it's hard for me to do that, but I did it to almost everybody, and it felt so good afterwards. And some of the compliments I got meant a lot to me, and I have no words for it. It was truly incredible. And at the end of this, everyone was crying. Everybody was in tears. Everybody was hugging. Everybody was so happy. And it was just an amazing experience. And if we did this at the last night because we felt that we were closer than ever with each other, and that brought us even closer with everybody. So, if you ever want to do that kind of thing, I recommend you do it, because it's an amazing experience, amazing opportunity. And at the end, when we got to Phoebe told us stuff, and she gave us bracelets like these. They were all different. She chose ones that like best suited who we were as a person. And then afterwards, Phoebe and Dean walked down, and it was pretty fun. It was great. Everybody was in tears. It was so good. After the next day, it was time to leave. It was time to leave this family that we created. Time to leave the camp. Time to leave the facilitators and Miriam and everybody. Miriam was the only one who stayed at the camp, and the rest of them came with us because she had to stay and help with everything. So we said goodbye to her. I'm sorry. Got on the bus and we drove back to the picnic area where we stopped to have lunch and everything. We also stopped on the way there to change cars and like change trucks, because the truck that we were on was meant for dirt roads and the other one was more for paved, and so we were going on paved roads. And there Winnie and Robert left us, and so we said goodbye to them. And then we went on and we went to the picnic area and had lunch. Then we left and we went back to Rift Valley to go grab some stuff, like grab souvenirs and take pictures and stuff like that. And then we got back to the Roslyn house, and we got there, we were like refreshed and everything. And there's another Meet-A-Wee Duca, the Meet-A-Wee store, and so we bought some stuff there. We also said goodbye to Robert because he was off to do some other things, and so we dinner at the Roslyn house, and then they drove us to the Nairobi airport. And while we were going there, we had to go through security, which is we got out of the car and we went through security, and then our car went through security. And then we got back on, and then we got dropped off at the airport. And to get into the airport, you have to go through another security person. And also here is where we said goodbye to Dean and Phoebe here. I was crying. Some people were crying because they did so much for us, and they were the best people ever. They were the best facilitators we could have ever asked for. They were amazing. They were so supportive. They were like our parents on this trip. And I miss them a lot. I miss everybody so much. This is not about the trip, but it was recently Winnie's birthday, and me and Emily sent her a package to her for her birthday. I don't know if she got it yet, but we'll see. But anyways, we said goodbye to them, and we went through security. And then we went through another security to get to where we had to get the tickets. And so we got the tickets, and then we went up the escalator, and we had to go through another security to get to like our gate. We had to go through that. And this one was like a full-on like body check kind of thing. And Mateo had like leaves in his pocket, so we had to throw them out because you can't like put leaves on the plate or whatever because it's foreign species or whatever. But then we went through security, and we had to go through security again to get to our like actual like gate part, like where we had to sit. We had to go through security, and if you wanted to get out, you had to ask to go to the bathroom because they wouldn't allow you to get out unless you didn't have to go. And so when you had to leave, you had to go through security again, and it was a big hassle. And our flight left at 11:59 at midnight, and we got on the plane. It was 7 hours, I think. Got to Amsterdam, 5-hour layover, and it was like a 7-hour, 8-hour flight. And then we went to Calgary, and it was a 6-hour layover, and then we flew home, and got to Kamloops. And my mom was trying to pick me up from the airport because my mom was in Edmonton, but my mom picked me up from her friend's house because she was coming home, but there was traffic. But when I got home, oh my gosh, for that week that I was home, I was crying every single day because I miss them. I miss everybody so much, and I miss Kenya so much, and the whole thing was a huge, big impact on me. Like, I won't see life through the eyes that I had before I went from Kenya. Like, that trip truly changed who I was as a person, and I'm very glad for it. It made me realize about, like, wasting water and, like, how important education is and how much food we waste and how people are so happy even though they have so little. And it's truly incredible. Like, I think my favorite part was when we would drive by wherever we had to go. There would be kids and parents and adults on the side of the road, and they would smile and wave at us and say Jumbo every time we passed by, and they had the biggest smiles on their faces. But if you did that here, you'd be a crazy person. Like, no one would say hi back. Like, you would be a crazy person. And if you did that to someone else, no one would wave because, I don't know, it's just, they have so little and they make the most out of it. They're so happy. Everyone is so happy there. And here, we have so much and yet we're not happy. Sometimes I just wish I could go back and, like, that experience made me want to, like, become a facilitator like Dean and Phoebe for me to be, like, I want to work for them when I graduate because it's an incredible opportunity, and me to be is something that I'm very passionate about because I've been, like, a part of it since grade 7, since I was, like, 11 years old, and, like, I'm 15 now and I love it so much, and I have a true big passion for me to be and for the children and all the work they do. I'm sorry I'm crying so much. Like, trying, like, to kind of put it off because I knew I'd cry in the video. Like, I hate crying, but oh well. I'm sorry that this video is also extremely long. I know I missed a couple of things. Like, I'm thinking now, like, I missed a couple of things, like how our van broke down after our safari and stuff like that. We switched vans. Like, I'm forgetting stuff, but it's okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you liked it. If you did, subscribe and like this video, and please comment down below what you think of it. And if you get to go do this and the opportunity's there, go for it. Go hard. Go. Please. It's incredible. You won't regret it at all. You will love it extremely. It's amazing, and I want to go back every single day. I want to so bad. I love you all, and I miss Kenya so much, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.